My name is Sean Sherry. Today I'm going to be going over how to analyze a simple fluid mechanics problem. I'm going to be looking at ISO diagrams as well as ladder diagrams and how to create wire lists. So let's begin. As you can see on the left hand side you have an ISO diagram. I'm hoping you guys are familiar with the symbols and how to read these. And on the right hand side there is a ladder diagram. And again, I hope you know these symbols, but they're labeled, so hopefully you'll understand what I'm discussing. So going forward, I'm going to number things per standard naming convention. Starting with the powered side, which is this 24 volts. That'll be number 1, and then the ground or 0 voltage side will be number 2. And the regular naming convention is top to bottom, left to right, like you read a book. So the next section will be 3, and that'll be between that normally open push button and that coil. The next one will be area number 4, and that'll be that junction between that relay switch, that normally closed push button, limit switch number 1, and limit switch number 2. Next, areas 5 and 6 are pretty simple. They go from that number 5 goes from limit switch number 1 to solenoid A, and then number 6 goes from normally open limit switch to the solenoid B. So now I'm just going to highlight these because this makes drawing up a wire list really easy. So starting with number 1 over here, I'll just shade that in with a green. Too easy. And then going forward, I'll just make number 2 red. Pretty simple. 3 will be blue. Again, that's the area from the push button, the coil, and it's connected to the push button number 2 over there. Okay, now looking at this junction, it actually has 4 components: that relay, push button number 2, limit switch number 1, and limit switch number 2. And I'll make that yellow for you guys to see. Alright, here we go. And area number 5, make that purple for you guys. And that's connecting limit switch number 2 to solenoid A. And 6, I'll make a lighter blue. That will be from limit switch number 2 over to solenoid B. Pretty easy. Alright, so I already made the wire list in Excel, and I'm just going to copy and paste it in here. But I'll explain everything and how it works. So, what you want to do is you want to look at the ladder diagram, and you want to go from each side of the components. It's very simple. First thing you want to do is list them out, which, as you can see, this is completely filled in wire list. But it goes, let's just start top to bottom, left to right, like usual. So you have this push button number 1 that goes from 1 to 3, pretty simple. And then you have a coil which goes 3 to 2, as you can see here, so blue to red. Then you have a relay which goes 1 to 4. That's this green area up here and the yellow area. Now these next couple ones are actually a little bit tricky for novice users, but let's just check this out. So you have push button number 2, and that's connected from this 4-unit junction, number 4, or the yellow area. Then that goes to this 3-unit junction up here, which is the blue area, so it's 4 to 3. Pretty easy. Let's continue. Now we're looking at the normally closed limit switch, or limit switch number 1. And let's see, I actually typed this in wrong. Sorry about that, guys. But it actually should be going 4 to 5, as you can clearly see. So yellow to purple. And then solenoid A, this one's right, the purple to the red, or 5 to 2. And then you have limit switch number 2, the normally open limit switch, and that goes yellow to light blue, or 4 to 6. And then solenoid B, pretty simple, 6 to 2. Just a quick word on how this pneumatic circuit would actually operate in real conditions. So if you were just to walk up to this system and nothing would be going on. If you look at the top here, you can see the push button number 1 connects the current or voltage the current source to coil, but it's in the open position. So this thing is not powered at all. Nothing's connected. But as soon as you hit push button number 1, current's going to go from the voltage source straight through, powering up that coil into the ground. And simultaneously, the relay switch, which is actually labeled coil, it's over by connecting the green and the yellow areas. Sorry about that. But that will actually be powered by the coil relay. And you can actually let go of push button number 1. But that'll still keep current going from 1 to 4, and then all throughout those various junctions to the ground. And on the pneumatic side of things, what happened was first, solenoid A would be activated. That cylinder would fully extend, and then it would open up limit switch number 1, and simultaneously close limit switch number 2. Kind of confusing, but on the electric side. So once that's closed, it's activating solenoid B, which would flip over that 5-2 bistable valve, and that would retract your cylinder. And this process would just keep going back and forth as triggered by these limit switches until somebody hits push button number 2, which would cut off current to your coil, which would unpower your relay, and you would have an open or unpowered circuit. Well, my name is Sean Sherry, and thank you for taking the time to watch this video.